Transitioning. Well, hello, White Sox fans, and welcome to another edition of White Sox Daily Live. And hopefully, you haven't jumped off a ledge because it's getting ugly out there. My name is Ian Eskridge. I'm here with my co host, the Danny Miller. How are you, Danny?
I wish I was doing better after watching, the entire last week of White Sox baseball. The last time we were here was last Tuesday evening, and we saw the White Sox take game two of a doubleheader,
So exciting.
and and we have not seen a win since. So, I wish we had better things to talk about, but at least the minor league affiliates are rolling and are playing what seems to be much better baseball than the major league club at this point in time. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Waiting for summer to get rolling here, waiting for spring to come back after winter has decided to revisit us here at least recently. So, anywho, how are you doing, man?
I
And
tell you,
before you answer that, I
yeah,
wanna I wanna say that I'm sure you probably have some things planned for us this evening. I
I
know,
mean, a little bit, but
we're gonna rip a deck of some cards later, and we got some things to talk about. But before we do, after you tell us all how you're doing this evening, I just want to let you know that I have a question for you before we get started. But
all
go ahead and
right.
let us know how Ian's world is these days.
Well, other than wanting to gouge my eyes out watching the White Sox, um, things are okay. Had you know, um, just a nice chill weekend. That's about it. It was nice and chill. And that was positive and good. Other than that, not really a whole lot going on, which is awesome. The like you mentioned, I watch a lot of minor league baseball, so I feel sorry for White Sox fans who do not have minor league baseball to watch because right now the only thing pleasurable about watching anything having to do with the White Sox is watching streams of you know any of the people talking about the White Sox or the minor league teams because the baseball team itself is just absolutely terrible. And I genuinely don't know if they're ever going to win another game. So,
Yeah,
um,
I mean,
uh, yeah,
whew.
that's about it. Yeah. So, minor league stuff, great. Major league stuff, not so much. But I'm doing great. So, this question you have for me.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get right to it here early on in tonight's stream slash pod, and I'm gonna ask the burning question that some fans have already made their decision on this, but the burning question that the other fans that are still on the fence want to know is it still too early to write this team off and jump off that so-called ledge you were talking about?
Um, well, let me think. You know what?
I,
I actually do think it is still too early to call it on the season. But I don't know, man. It's with how ugly it's been. It's close. I mean, it's getting close. For me to be ready to just be done because, I mean, we all know that they could absolutely. I mean, we've seen it before from other teams where I mean the Phillies, the Braves from a few years ago. We've seen teams that have started off badly and then completely turned it around and ended up in the World Series. However, not if I was a betting man, um, I would not put the White Sox in that same category as those other two teams, despite the fact that they've got the talent. The play is so ugly. Everything is lackluster. The chase rate is through the roof. The pitching is, hit or miss. And when it's hit, the bats don't, And when the White Sox hit, which is not very often, the pitching's not good either. So, I mean, just in general, yeah, it's getting close, man. Like I said, I'm sorry for people that don't have minor leagues to watch because there's nothing pleasurable about the White Sox right now.
Now, well, you pretty much said exactly what I was thinking you would say. I'm kind of with you for the most part. It's we started this season off where we talked about, okay, maybe they're not winning some games, but they had some entertainment value to them. They looked like they had kind of changed uh, a little bit of their approach. It looked like they were going to do some things differently that we had not seen in the past, or at least in the last couple of seasons. Uh, and then it was almost as if as soon as we spoke that into existence, we got we went right back to watching atrocious baseball where we're seeing errors being made, and maybe not in the multiples like we were seeing the last couple of seasons, but we're seeing just stupid mistakes. We're seeing guys flail at the plate. Plate approach went down the tubes early on in the season. There would seem like there was a little bit better approach, and now all of a sudden it's just gone. And guys just look like they're pressing left and right, and it's the same thing that we had been watching the last couple of years. And I get the feeling of wanting to break out and separate yourself from the last two seasons, but the thing is you have to do the small things in order to do that. And I just feel like they're all out there trying to do the big things, and fundamental baseball has kind of gone out the window. And I don't know how Pedro Grifol and company aren't in these interviews absolutely losing their minds and calling these guys out, because this soft stuff about every post game interview with him sounds the same. Oh, I'm not really worried about the pitching. You know, the pitching looks okay. They're throwing some good balls up there. These guys are just hitting the mistakes, but nothing to worry about here. Excuse me as I spit all over myself. I'm getting all flustered. But and then you hear about the bats. Well, these guys are, they're up there. They're taking some hacks. They're putting the ball in play. They're just, they're hitting the ball right at guys. They're hitting the ball hard. I'm so tired of hearing that. That this team, wow, we're doing the things we want to do. We're just not winning the ball games right now. We're not going to really change anything. Excuse me? You're not going to change anything? Well, the one thing I did notice you changed was the lineup and the way you're using your players. And I'm seeing Tony La Russa all over again. These lineups are, I mean, maybe not okay. I know I see you shaking your head, and maybe not quite the same, but he's put some garbage lineups out there. Let's just be honest. You want to give some guys a day off and you know give them a rest. Well, the one guy who hasn't had a day off, who's been absolutely atrocious and struggling, and is seeing three pitches in at bat almost every at bat, is the guy you throw in the one hole. The old saying about hitting out of a slump. You got to hit your way out of a slump. Well, that guy is swinging at every single pitch he sees. I don't know how many times I've seen a 3-pitch strikeout out of him in the last week. It is insane. Sit him down. Let him get a day or two to grab some focus. I understand that he is the best defensive player on your team. But you know what? Now that we have that fully complimentary outfield, Romy Gonzalez is struggling, but let him play. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. Let him throw him out in center field for a day or two and let Luis clear his mind. But I digress. What do I know? I'm just some guy sitting here on a stream watching this team not be so entertaining like we thought they were going to be. And anything you want to add to that?
Well, as Grimtall says here, I saw a thread on Twitter that maybe it wasn't TLR's fault, and I couldn't argue. And here's the thing: is that from my point of view, is that while obviously the results are not there, and you might not like his lineups, fine. Um, but at this point, literally nobody is playing good baseball. There's like,
Well, I can't argue with that.
like what? Like Benintendi is, at least, pseudo consistent. I mean, he hasn't torn the cover off the ball.
No, he's what Nick Madrigal was supposed to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, fine.
He's a slap hitter.
You just had to pay $75 million for a slap hitting left fielder that plays decent defense, and
Hey,
he does run the bases better than Madrigal. You got to give him that.
I'll give you that, and I'll take a left fielder who knows how to field his position for sure.
Yeah, nobody. So TLR, he had pitching at least. He didn't have a complete pitching staff that was just ready to melt down at any sign of any pressure whatsoever, which is basically more or less what's been going on. When there's no pressure on the pitching staff and they're already losing, they don't give up any runs. If there's a lead, it's done. It's gone. And Pedro does not have that. Pedro doesn't have really any. Nobody's hitting. Nobody's doing anything. I will say this. At least they're playing a little bit more fundamentally sound. A little bit.
Defensively, they do look much better than they have the last couple of seasons.
Yeah,
we'll give them that.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do when in the second inning you're down 4-0 already? Like if the pitching already puts you down right away, and you're only gonna once again this whole anemic offense of if the team scores any runs, it's going to be 3 or 4 most of the time, which, has shown if you look at the major league statistics, if you average like under 4 runs a game, you're not going to win.
No.
And they're showing that's exactly what's
era.
up. Yeah.
Not in today's era. Ugly. And the thing is now with, we've talked about this before, with the pitch clock, ERAs have kind of gone up across the league.
Mm-hmm.
And, some people will say that's not a direct result of the pitch clock. It's a culmination of that and the sticky stuff and, batters just being dialed in and blah, 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 blah. There's a billion different reasons. But, the thing is there was a time when maybe you could get away with a 3.5 run average, run scored average and win some ball games.
Yeah, 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, not in today's game. Not in today's game. Major League Baseball has made these rule changes to make offense, to make scoring runs a more important part of the game, because apparently that's what the fans want to see. They want to see more runs. They want to see the football score up on the scoreboard instead of the baseball score. So Major League Baseball made all those rule changes to accommodate that. And this White Sox team still can't seem to get beyond a field goal. Just.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
It's hard to fathom how an entire team who has shown in the past flashes of greatness, how does an entire team fall flat on its face? And the only guy that's really doing anything currently at the moment is a guy who hasn't been here the last couple of seasons. And maybe that's the key.
Yeah, it might be. Here. Yeah, and the thing is that if you traded Luis Robert to Tampa Bay, if they'd even take him,
they'd probably turn him into Mike Trout overnight.
Yeah, 100%. You don't put up with his stupidity of swinging at every single thing, and you put some sort of a restrictions on what he does, move him back in the order so he's not leading off the game. And, even if he does slump, I still don't see him slumping like this, and I certainly don't see him playing like that. I wanted to bring up something that Ladder Enjoyer mentioned. He says, I'm convinced they need TA back on a deep metaphysical level. I have to say this. his bat at the leadoff, yeah, that'd be great. That would be awesome. But the thing is, he's in the dugout. So if it's for an
Hey, he's
emotional,
here.
as an emotional leader, if that's what they're missing, he's in the dugout. So,
Yeah, I mean, Pedro made that very clear. If you haven't seen him in the dugout, he did his interview earlier, and he basically said, he might be getting close to a rehab assignment, but he's here every day.
yeah,
So you can't tell me that his influence and his, whatever his presence and leadership is missed because he's there.
yeah.
Whether he's on the field or not, the person, Tim Anderson, the person, is in the dugout every day. So, I would like to think that, maybe he's the spark that you need on the field. That'd be fantastic. The last week or so, I'm still on that train of defending this team. I have been on the socials a little bit here and there saying, there's no reason to think that when Tim Anderson and Yohan Moncada come back, that the protection up and down the lineup becomes, even that much more solid. And there's no reason to believe that this team can't turn this thing around almost overnight, at least offensively anyway. But then we find out, yeah, Tim Anderson's close to possibly a rehab. He's going to need at least 15 at bats or so, probably 3 games down on a minor league, rehab assignment is basically what I'm hearing. But, then we find out that Yohan still can't swing a bat. It's ridiculous.
It is never ending.
Well, I'm starting to think, and I was really hopeful that this wasn't going to be the case, but Yohan's back, and where's that great? Or Yohan's back is I need that equal sign, equal to or greater than or lesser than Adam Engel's hamstrings. I need to throw it out there. Like, are they the same muscle? Is it the same nagging injury that's just going to stay there forever?
Yeah, I don't know. It's we were trying to remain positive
Yeah, it's
and
impossible
trying
at this
to
point.
be the lone positive stream podcast basically in existence because everybody else is like more or less, other than Chuck, who's paid to be positive. Like we were the only ones who are saying, it's we're fine. And even we at this point are ready to like just launch them into the sun because last the entire season's just been a funnel. It just slowly
And the
down
thing
the
is
drain.
I just like you, I'm not ready to jump off that ledge yet. It is still only the end of April, and yes, they are digging themselves a hole. Thankfully, we are in a division that pretty much the rest of the division is bad. So,
Not
I mean,
great, but
no, but winning this division is still a strong possibility for
it
this
is
team
attainable.
if they find their stride. And I don't know, I know we were in a chat this afternoon with our very own Logan Hard, and he brought up the Foul Territory podcast and interview with Lance Lynn. And you hadn't seen it at that point. Have you at least had a chance to see
I
some of the
did.
highlights since then?
Yeah. I did, and I mean, I understand. Like, I kind of like I get what Lance is saying. For those of you that didn't see it, he's, I mean, for
Hey, Roodles.
for all intents and purposes, more or less, he's just making excuses for him. And I mean, you can say that that is the reality of things, is that they're trying to learn an entire new way of doing things. But
Well, the game of
the
baseball didn't change
see,
completely,
that's
so
that's my issue with that whole thing, is that okay, you're trying to learn new ways to prepare and everything. Well, if you're trying to learn new ways to prepare for a game and all this stuff, if it's all if it makes if this preparation method that they're using makes them forget how to play baseball, then it's working wonders and it's working great. But if the whole thing here is like I fail to see how anything that they've done other than upgrade slightly defensively, and you can attribute that to having Colas in right field a bunch of the time. You can attribute that to having Benintendi in the outfield. You can attribute that to having Elvis Andrus. I mean, just there are slight defensive upgrades. So the fact that there is a slight defensive upgrade for the entire team shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone just because of basic fundamental baseball skill. But the issue is that it's like they've slowly unlearned how to hit a baseball. They've forgotten how anything about any plate discipline whatsoever has just gone absolutely out the window. And it's like they don't know how to play baseball. It's like every single one of them is a terrible baseball player but a great athlete. Which, we talked about Kenny Williams drafting, the Keon Barnums and Courtney Hawkins type guys, because they were great athletes.
Maybe not the highest baseball IQ, but don't worry, we'll develop them and teach them.
Yeah.
And where are those guys now?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's see, Ladder Enjoyer says we also go from the hardest strength of schedule in April to the easiest in May, which is true, and that's
except
great.
They're not beating the teams they should have been beaten now.
I mean, the winning percentage I think for the teams that they're playing right now is like close to 650, 660. That I mean, I guess it makes sense because their winning percentage is about 300, so that equals 1,000. So, I mean, what can we look forward to them winning 1 out of 3 now? I mean, I guess that's an improvement over the last week, but still not good. I mean,
the feeling I get here is if the pitching seems to figure it out, because what I'm kind of picking up, and maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, there was a better plate approach early on in the season that has kind of gone to the wayside here lately. And my thought is because the offense is putting pressure on itself to pick up this absolutely atrocious pitching staff. And if the pitching starts to straighten itself out, maybe the offense kind of, they settle in a little bit. They don't feel the absolute need to go out and hammer every pitch that's thrown in their direction. So, I don't know. I just feel like, it's an old saying that pitching wins baseball games. But in the White Sox case, if we could just get a decent string of starts out of this, starting rotation, if we can just get, 5-6 innings of 1 or 2 run ball, maybe even get the handful of shutouts going into the 6th and 7th inning, that this offense might find a way to click. But unfortunately, it seems like, as soon as you get a runner on base, these pitchers lose their minds. They can't find a strike zone. And then when they absolutely have to find a strike zone, they throw a meatball up there and they get tagged. And, it's just an absolute meltdown from that point on. I mean, we saw it tonight, early in this game, it seemed like we might get a good start. It didn't take long for as soon as we get 1 or 2 guys on base in the 3rd inning, all of a sudden the bats heat up on the other side and the meatballs start getting thrown across the plate. And you get shut out because the White Sox offense decides they have to hack away. So I don't really know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. And, if you're in the chat right now, let me know what you think. Am I off here? Do these guys just suck or are they pushing? I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I mean, it's it's certainly not pleasurable, that's for sure. I mean, it's just, there's nothing fun about what's going on right now. I mean, unless you like laughing at the White Sox. If you like doing that, then yeah, everything's great. But Yeah, you got people arguing in the dugout, and at this point, something needs to be done. I don't know whether Pedro needs to go on a rampage or whatever, and go nuts, but something needs to change. So
Yeah, something. What that is, I don't really know. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my baby girl Penny the pit bull needs to be on the podcast this week, so she's making an appearance here.
that's good.
Even a DH arguing with a Gold Glove center fielder. Yeah, caught that one. I gotta say though, that play out in right field where Luis Ferrer Jr. Ran right in front of Eloy's outstretched glove, literally caught the ball about 6 inches away from Eloy's open mitt. It was reminiscent of that play where we saw Eloy just kind of have that stupid smirk on his face a couple of seasons ago out in left field. Uh, but can you Luis Robert glides? He was over there like with ease. It wasn't like he was chasing that one down. But I think I think they were right on the broadcast, was, it looked like Eloy was kind of upset at the fact that, I don't hear you calling me off.
Mm.
You're not talking to me. And this is why we run into each other. This is why we've had these collisions in the past. And it's not happened just once or twice. It's happened a few times. And the last thing we need is guys going on the IL for dumb stuff like that. If you're going to be the center fielder, you want to be the middle linebacker out there, you want to call the plays. Well, you got to make some noise, be vocal.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know, man. At this point, I don't even know. I genuinely, I just don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know exactly what's wrong. It just looks like everything. It's just everything.
It does look like everything. Everything is wrong. And I don't know, like you said, this whole change in philosophy and the way we do things excuse doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Because the game of baseball, regardless of a couple of rule changes, bigger bases and the whole no shifting and whatever, they didn't reinvent the game. They made a couple of tweaks. You should not have forgotten how to play.
That's my feeling as well. Is that there is no, if that's what Lance Lynn's excuse is for this whole thing, get good, man.
Yeah.
Be better.
He said something during that interview with AJ that really kind of struck a bell. I mean, AJ talked to him about last night's game and how the White Sox players sat in the dugout and watched the Jays celebrate after winning. Or was that a couple nights ago? I don't know, whatever it was. Wow, that's a shot. I know you guys on stream can't see that, but I see some things going on.
Yeah, no, I'm fixing stuff for
upside
later.
down Ian.
Yeah,
was
fixing stuff for later.
Anywho, Lance was asked by AJ about what was going on. Why are the White Sox players sitting in the dugout, kind of sulking, while while they're out there celebrating a win? He was like, "What is there a flood in the clubhouse? Something happened. Everybody's sick. What's going on?" And Lance says, "No, I think we just got a group of guys that's tired of losing, and sitting out there watching the other team celebrate should light a fire, make you want to come out and win the next day." I don't know what you saw, but today I saw White Sox get shut out.
Yeah,
so sitting in the dugout watching them celebrate did absolutely nothing for them to have that fire to come out and win a game and be the team celebrating.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much bad. You know, I mean, I don't. At this point, like I said, I don't even know what to hang it on.
They might not win another game ever.
That's what I
Oh my
said.
god. I mean,
I
I
mean,
can't believe you
it's
said it, but it feels that way right now, doesn't it?
doesn't it though? I mean, it feels like it legitimately feels like I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, is this team ever going to win again? I don't know.
Well,
It's that ugly.
here's the thing. This is still the same team on paper that it has been, that damn near every expert in the industry over the last two seasons says this could be a ball club to watch. And even going into this season, a lot of people said, well, they made those improvements that you talked about, the Oscar Cole losses. They made the improvement of the Andrew Benintendi. They added, Clevenger, whatever your thoughts are on them, I don't really care. But they added a guy
Yeah.
to the rotation who should be capable. Uh, you know, it's it, they look like they should be better. Unfortunately, or not. So that gives me the hope that yes, this team can turn it around. But if they continue to dig a hole, it's not going to get easier. You've got to get out of that hole before that hole gets too deep that you cannot climb your way out of it. We're not, you know, you can't expect to be the 01 A's. Is it 01?
No, they're like the 2023 A's though, so it's almost as good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of all the Major League Baseball teams, I think the only ones who haven't won a series are the A's and the Rockies.
Besides the White Sox.
Yeah, the Nats won a series over the
Actually, I think
weekend. I
the A's
think.
just won a series, didn't they?
I don't think so, but I
No.
could be wrong. But I was looking at it yesterday. I'm pretty sure that's not.
No, maybe not. All right. Well,
I have no idea what
regardless,
you're talking about there, Roodles. What list? What do you? Oh, the bereavement list. Gotcha. Oh, I don't know if it was the same person or not. That is a fine question, young man. Um, yeah. So, yeah. Unfortunately, there's just not anything positive to talk about, and like at this point, like the only stats that are really uh anything at this point is something that is profoundly negative, you know, something that is
yeah.
contributing to the demise of the White Sox, whether it be chase rates or high leverage relief rolls, just not throwing first pitch strikes, walking too many guys. Although at least the bullpen kind of got that under control somewhat.
A little bit.
But I mean, it's one thing after another, and it's like there are literally zero positives to the entire team at this point, and it's you know I know that Beeflo from the 108, whenever the White Sox torpedo themselves and lose a game, he says that that's going to kill off 5 more White Sox podcasts. I mean, when you're watching your team play like this, I mean, I mean, we stuck it out through some difficult times last year, and even in late 2021. Um,
Yeah, that second half was not exactly easy baseball to watch, let alone come out here and do at least a 1 hour show, if not more often than not 2 hour show at week in and week out. But here we are, and I don't see us, unless you're not telling me something here. I don't foresee us going anywhere. I'm here for it.
yeah,
I'm not. Even if it's just like I've said in the past, even if it's just a platform to vent a little bit, form of therapy, if you will. I'm gonna be here every Tuesday doing my thing here with my partner Ian because excuse me, wow. What else do I have to do? as a White Sox fan.
Yeah, what else are we gonna do?
We can't celebrate, so we're gonna sit here and talk all the crap we can.
Yeah, there's not much celebrating going on, other than Officer Doofy is checking in, and he says, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, the minor league development system, and as far as structure, is the best we've seen in at least 3 years." I will agree with that. As that,
Yeah,
I watch a lot of minor league baseball, and like I said, if I didn't have minor league baseball for the White Sox, I would legitimately not watch very much because I don't know if I could deal with watching this crap night in and night out and keep interest for longer than a couple of months at this point because of what we saw last season. Like what reason do I have to continue to put myself through that,
right.
So, but like Officer Doofy says, I agree. Guys are going to the plate with an approach. Pitchers have a plan, and managers are taking chances on the bases. Yeah, the minor leagues have been a lot of fun.
And there's a lot of young talent down there as well too. I just want to point out, and I know I've said it in streams and pods past, but a lot of Sox fans will kind of piss and moan about the way the Sox have drafted, and Rick Hahns missed on this and that and the other thing. But Mike Shirley over the last couple of years has really found some good young talent that shows some promise. Regardless of what the farm system ranking is at this particular moment, I do think you're going to see some guys kind of climb that ladder. And, I have hope for the future. And especially with this Sox club, we've said it in the past. I don't foresee a whole lot of these guys getting traded away because you know how the Sox are; they fall in love with their prospects. So maybe we can see these guys graduate in a few years, and we might be talking up a different tune, especially if these guys are getting the proper development as opposed to the players who are with the club now who did not get the proper development. It might be a completely different story, but that remains to be seen, and that's gonna be a little bit off here yet.
Yeah. So yeah, like Officer Doofy says, you've heard me sing the praises of Coach Barquette on here for months and months, just talking about the changes that I see in the development to the guys in the minor leagues. And I mean it's been really evident this season so far where basically, Charlotte lost tonight. Barons got smoked tonight. Dash swept a doubleheader and the Ballers lost, but the thing is that you see snippets where you don't see a lot of stupid things happening. Most of the stupid things you see are coming on the other side of the field, from the other team.
Right.
It seems like they're a
It's
lot
our
more
young guys that are.
Yeah. I mean, well,
It just seems like our
fine.
guys are capitalizing on the mistakes,
Yeah,
as opposed to the other way around here at that the major league club level.
as opposed to the way that the White Sox do things, where you're not sure if they've ever seen a baseball before,
Right.
So
Oh,
yeah, no, it's there's a lot of positive stuff going on, and I am legitimately enjoying watching minor league baseball, which last year it was a little bit more of a slog through the entire season. There was pretty much not one team that was really playing well. I mean, like, you would get individual performances quite often. Obviously the Colson Montgomery thing was a big boost for everybody last year. Especially
yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch and talk about for sure.
Exactly. And we got a lot of stuff that's positive right now. And Officer Doofy mentions they still need dominant pitching, but I will say, like there's been some really nice developments from some of the pitching. Christian Mena. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're seeing Norge Vera got added to the IL again.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but I revert back to your interviews with Kurt and Dan, the announcers down there and in the minor league system. And if you guys haven't listened to those, I suggest you really do. They're pretty fantastic stuff. But there's a couple of guys that were talked about in those interviews that if you haven't heard about them, I think you should check them out. But Shane Lee was one of those guys that was talked about quite a bit. And watching some of his performances, I'm thinking, maybe there is some halfway, maybe not completely dominant, but some halfway dominant pitching down there. Christian Mena, like you mentioned, there's a handful of guys down there that I think can bring it, and they show some pure, uh, just skill. You know what I mean? They're guys that they're not throwing; they're actually pitching. As opposed to what we've talked about last week's, pod where, does every pitcher on the White Sox have to throw 100 miles an hour? You got guys down can bring it, but there's also some guys down that are pitching it that are spotting pitches that are throwing some junk and hitting spots, commanding their pitches. Unfortunately, we got guys up here who are big name household name players like Lance Lynn who can't command any of his pitches. And he said it himself. It's not that I'm not going up there and, you know, not firing away. I'm just not hitting my spots. I'm getting behind on counts. I'm walking guys. Well, yeah,
We
you're a
noticed.
veteran. Figure
Thank
it
you.
out. Figure it out. Apparently it's, but again, I know that's easier said than done, but come on now, man.
Yeah. I mean, like they say in Little League, hey, you're good, man. Just throw strikes. Just throw strikes. You're good. Just throw strikes.
Just throw strikes.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you do that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whatever. I don't know.
So, since we're on the minor league system, and I'm guessing that as this past week has gone by, we're just going to blow right over our "We See You" segment this week because there's really nobody to see.
Oh, we've seen enough. We've seen
Yeah, I
enough.
mean, well, yeah, we can do the "We See You" segment, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a positive. We see. It's gonna be a. You feel seen because
Right.
everything that we're saying right now, you're like, yeah, that's me.
So,
Unfortunately.
yeah. Uh, yeah. So, I guess we'll just go ahead and skip that this week. But you are the minor league guru. Do you have anybody you kind of want to talk about or focus on this week?
Well, I mean, there's been quite a few positive things going on. I don't know if you saw, but Wilfred Veras was the Sally Player of the Week
I
in
didn't see that.
Winston Salem, and forget how many home runs he hit. I think he hit 3 home runs
Yeah.
last week, and he had I think 2 outfield assists, and he had a double play today on a boneheaded base running mistake by a guy running to second on a hit that he didn't think Veras was going to get to. He did and doubled him off at first. He's looked really good. His plate approach has been pretty stinking good. I mean, there's still some strikeout stuff going on there. But it's not anything that I don't feel could get cleaned up. It's for him. I don't have anything to be really negative about, other than there's a few more strikeouts than I'd like, and
Right.
with the improvement in his plate approach from last year, I don't see any reason why it's not something that he couldn't clean up again in over this season into next. Also, DJ Gladney, same thing. showing off his power, driving in runs all over the place. Playing a competent left field. So, um, yeah, no, those two guys are doing really well. And somebody asked me yesterday, guys who are in the top 30 that are showing like a 2025 type, date for being up in the bigs. And I kind of think those two guys, because I think Varys is 20 and Gladney's 21, and they're an advanced day. I think that even if they do go off, and continue going off for the rest of this year, I don't see them going above Double A, and I would say it'd probably be Double A and Triple A next year. So I would think that it would probably more likely be like a 2025 thing. But the thing
Do you
is that
think the? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's just you got to wait for.
You let them go through their development.
Well, I mean, yeah, that, but you also have to figure out what's going on with this major league roster. What are they going to do with it if it continues to do what's happening right right now? What's the point in keeping them around? You got a $200 million payroll of guys who can't play baseball.
Yeah, but isn't there something like close to 60 of that coming off the books next year?
Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, but I mean, once
But there are still some guys that are under contract, through 2025 and 2026 that are going to block some of these young players unless
you trade
somebody gets somebody gets put on the hot seat, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with Giolito and Lynn going, because I have even if Giolito manages to get all his stuff back in order, if he has a good year this year, I have zero confidence the White Sox are going to keep him around. A, because he hasn't been consistent at it, and B, they're just not going to spend that kind of money.
They don't sign pitchers. Starting pitchers will not get a long-term contract in Chicago. That ownership group would rather fall flat on their face and fail than go out and sign a long-term high-dollar contract because they think maybe they're going to look like idiots for doing so when that contract blows up on them. So we'd rather take our chances on a bunch of $4 million guys than one $25-30 million guy.
Yeah,
it's just the way they operate.
No, the thing was, I saw a social media post that was complaining about the people complaining about the fact that the White Sox haven't signed a 9-figure deal. And my thinking when I was looking at that, and I didn't reply, but I just don't feel like putting out the energy to have people argue with me about nonsense. But like my feeling on this whole thing is that it's not necessarily that the White Sox, it's not that they haven't done it. I guess it is that they haven't done it, but at this point, if I was the one who was investing money into this investment, into making this product on the field, and I saw what was being done by my general manager, and I don't know who he'd want to give that 9-figure deal to. I mean, I know that they talked to they botched that whole Manny Machado thing, but if it was anybody that was on this roster, I wouldn't want to pay 9 figures.
No.
Unless I've got him for, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years. Maybe I'd give him $100 million if they were, a middle of the road player, just to keep them around if I felt like they, did like a decent enough job, But I mean, even then, I can't think of anybody that I would want to give on this team. I can't think of one person that I would want to give $100 million to except for Cease. That's pretty much it.
Same.
Who else are you going to give anything more than, with what is going on right now? I don't think I'd want anybody on this team for 10 years, $300 million. Like even if, Eloy ends
My
up
hope,
having a decent season, I have zero confidence that next year that he's not going to blow out a knee or a hamstring, you
right?
know?
My hope was that Luis Robert would be that player that we were talking about extending or, re-signing to a long-term, multi-year, high dollar contract. But my hope was the reason that was going to happen was because he was out there showing out. And he does that with the glove. I'm ready to give the guy the gold glove already this season. I mean, he's throwing the leather around out there, but man, does he look lost at the dish. And that's the type of player. Could he get hot? Sure. Can he figure it out? Sure. But like you said, there's been no consistency there, and there's nothing to convince me that even if he did get hot, that he would not fall back into another one of these extended slumps and flail away at every hook that's 6 inches off the plate, low and away. I just there's no reason for me to believe that he consistently lay off that pitch
Yep.
and do the damage that he was, brought over here to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know me. I don't normally get like this negative about stuff, but like, I'm just, it's not that I don't think that they can turn it around this year. I'm just tired of watching this, you know?
Well, that's the thing. The entertainment value had in the crapper fast. You know, I'm hoping that this is just a short-lived feeling for White Sox fans. Like I said, there are reasons to believe that it can turn around, but sure aren't seeing much from them at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, even if they did, like, I just don't know how you turn an entire roster around because it's not like half of the team's playing and the other guys are trying to figure some stuff out. It's like
Yeah.
literally everybody on the team has forgotten how to play baseball. And I don't see how any kind of preparation or anything like that is going to fix the fact that they look like they cannot play baseball.
To me as a manager, maybe or pitching coach, Ethan Katz. I know you're not listening, but
Hey, he might be. You never know.
hey, maybe.
Maybe he's
My thought is
maybe he's Officer Doofy 8. I don't know.
hey, maybe. All I'm saying is he's got to be feeling the heat with the way the staff is throwing the ball right now. And like you said, it's kind of like he's got to feel like he's in no man's land because how do you fix an entire pitching staff and not just the starting rotation, but the bullpen has had its issues as well. You got to feel like you're drowning. And my only thought is maybe we, take the next couple of weeks to focus on 2 or 3 guys at a time and get 2 or 3 guys fixed at a time and then move on to another 2 or 3 guys instead of trying to fix everybody all at once because your attention is split in so many different directions trying to trying to fix the staff right now that maybe you should just kind of focus on biting it off in small chunks. You know what I mean? I don't really know. Again, we're just 2 guys sitting here talking to some fans on over the interwebs.
Yep.
Difficult to say how they're going to fix this thing, but that's what these guys get paid the big dollars for. So I'm still hopeful that they figure this thing out and turn it around.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, like, I don't know. I can't think of one specific thing that is going to fix it. And I'm still firmly entrenched in the fact that I don't think that it's that it has anything to do with Pedro, to be honest, other than maybe him not getting angry, enough anyway. Like
I would like to see some fire because this soft touch baby approach that not only he has but our previous manager seemed to have with this team doesn't seem like it's working.
well,
Now
yeah,
somebody's gonna be
that's
fired up.
exactly what that's exactly what Ozzy was saying on the post game. Is that you know he's being too nice and all that stuff, and I don't know, man. I just
Yeah, you're talking about yesterday, not today, right? I mean,
yeah,
Nas
yes. I didn't
went
even
off real
watch
quick.
today's, and I probably should have. But it
You didn't
was
miss anything.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was so close to the stream and everything, and I was, trying to get stuff going, because I was an irresponsible adult today, an irresponsible adult today, and
Irresponsible dolt.
yeah, I'm an irresponsible dolt. And I took Mr. Roodles over to the Card King in I think it's Downers Grove, and we went and bought some baseball cards and bought
Well,
some.
you sounds like you had more fun than I did watching the
Oh yeah,
broadcast.
yeah. No, we certainly had more fun than watching that garbage. Um, yeah, and like the White Sox game had started, and I just continued to watch the dash because they were the
Why
only,
not?
like they're playing baseball. So,
Yeah, 2 wins in a doubleheader today. Why not?
yep, yeah. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
take it. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, do you want to quit this negative nonsense? You got anything else interesting for this week that's stopping us from opening some baseball cards?
No, I would much rather get on to the fun.
Yeah.
Let's find some entertainment value in our show for the rest of the evening. I hope we're entertaining you guys. The only thing I will say is if you're listening and you have not heard that Fall Territory podcast interview with Lance Lynn, I gotta say, I didn't know how to feel about that podcast as it started just recently here at the, basically the start of the 2023 season. AJ, if you weren't already a fan of him, is pretty fun to listen to sometimes. I mean, he doesn't pull punches. He gets out there, he lets you know how he feels, and he asks the hard questions. So if you guys aren't listening to that, I suggest it's pretty good listen.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, he's not afraid to bust balls, which is
No,
nice. It's something
yeah,
that
it's a
we're
little
not
bit
used to seeing.
refreshing,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's good. Yeah, White Sox Daily .substack.com, at Daily White Sox on Twitter. We have a Facebook group and a YouTube page. Just search White Sox Daily. You can find this podcast on our Substack, or you can find it anywhere you get your podcasts. We're going to go ahead and open up a case of 2022 Heritage Minor League cards, Tops 22. And we're going to enjoy some baseball cards because the White Sox are not making it easy to enjoy actual Major League Baseball. So we're going to enjoy ourselves through spending money. So thanks for coming and hanging out in the chat, and thanks for listening. Thanks for coming and watching. The break will be on our YouTube if you're interested in watching it. Hopefully, we get some Colson Montgomerys and Oscar Colases and all that fun stuff, and we'll see what comes up. But thanks for hanging out. All right, and the podcast, in the podcast there, I'm gonna go use the washroom right quick. I'll be
Yeah,
back,
do your thing.
and then
Do your thing. I'll hang out here with Greasy Keys and the folks in the stream that are gonna hang out and at least find some
that's my good luck
enjoyment.
charm right there. Is my
I
Greasy
was,
Keys
I
sticker.
already actually had it typed up. We're ready to send it to the chat. Greasy
Yeah.
Keys in the shop for good luck.
Yep.
So
Here, I'll go
go do your
ahead and
thing. We'll hang out.
do this right
I'll
quick.
uh,
Let me
I'll
move
keep
this.
Grimtall company while you're gone.
Let me go
Uh,
ahead and
well, as I
delete
hack
that.
away here.
Go ahead and put this down all the way down here. I don't even care. Here we go. Perfect. Cool.
Who's still here, by the way? And you guys sound off real quick. Who's hanging out with us? Who's gonna stick around for the rip?
My crossfader go.
I'm waiting.
All right. You know what?
I'm waiting. Doofy still around? No.
Let's go ahead
Grim?
and do that. There we go. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. How many gifted subs? If it were that easy, I wouldn't still be smoking. I I was doing well actually on the Chantix about almost 2 years ago, and then they had a recall, and that was the end of that. And then it turns out that they're just not going to manufacture it anymore. Too many bad side effects, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know
Ladder
that.
Enjoyer's still here. All right, cool. We got some folks hanging out. Yeah. So I guess what happened was in one of their batches and decided that they were going to do a recall and stop production for a while, and it never really went anywhere from there. What is that?
That is a that's a box topper. It's like it just comes
Oh,
comes in there and it's like a like a you get a couple of them on the top of every box.
I
Never
mean, that
mind
looks like
my
a 4-year-old signed it.
you know.
You might as well put that in Fat Orange Crayola.
Actually, I got a card today that Kettle Marte.
I thought you were going with me, man.
Yeah, I know. I got sidetracked. I mean, we got time now. I got a card that had a Kettle Marte signature on it. It wasn't like an auto, but it had his auto on it, and it looked almost exactly that awful. It was the
Really?
hand. Oh, it was brutal, man. Here's the other one. Let's see. This is Colton's new favorite guy, Colton Cowser. Which I don't really.
I mean, that's a decent autograph he's got going on there.
Yeah, that's the
Better than that.
Delmarva Shorebirds Colton Cowser.
Delmarva.
Yep, Delmarva. That's who.
Is it down in Texas?
No, it's in Maryland.
Oh, it was close.
What is this? There we go. Warming Bernabel. Warming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Warming Bernabel.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll be back in a minute, and then we will commence in opening those bad boys up. That'll be fun. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do your thing. So is it just Ladder and Grim? Come on, I thought I saw more numbers than that in here. You guys just walked away from us, huh? Too much bitching for you to handle? I don't know. Well, either way, there it is. Just throw that out there. So any of you guys ever get the feeling, and maybe it's just me, and maybe it's just the way this team is 8 lurking. That's what I thought I saw. Lurkers. Lurkers, nerds. So I don't know if any of you guys do this, but you ever go on the socials and somebody throws up a pick to click thread, whether it's on Twitter or the Book of Faces or anywhere, any of your little chats that you're involved in. Because I got to be honest with you, man, I throw up these pick to clicks. Somebody throws them up, and I'll throw an answer in every once in a while. And I got to be completely honest with you, I'm gonna stop doing that because every time I pick somebody to click, I get about the opposite result of what I want to do. So from now on, I'm going to start picking opposing pitchers and see how that goes. Because tonight's pick to click in James Woodshank's group, I picked Clevenger. I picked SB5. Ooh, boy, was that it's just off. Since you're back, I'll ask you.
Here I am.
You ever do any of those pick to click posts? You ever throw your pick in on any
No.
of those posts?
No.
Let me just tell you, I don't do it often. I'll do it once a month, maybe. I think I've done it like 3 times in the first month of the season this year, so it's more than normal for me.
How's it worked out for you?
Each time, it's like the worst performer of the game.
That's why I don't do it, because I know that if I pick somebody, he's going to be terrible.
I mean, I must have a jinx or something. Now, not that, anybody you pick to click right now, you could say the same for, but it just seems like my guy. I was just telling the chat, like today's pick for me was SP5.
You know,
was Clef. My pick to click was Clev. Boy, was I sadly mistaken.
It happens, man.
So
Like the thing about
my
him, the problem I have with him, so far is that he's striking out one person for every person he's walking, more or less. You know,
right,
and
right.
that's not going to get it done, especially when you're getting up to like 75 pitches in like 4 innings. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna
Well,
cut
he's
it.
another one too. You can see his frustration on the mound when he's not spotting his pitches. Even if he throws it for a strike, he's got this look of like, well, that's why I didn't want. I didn't want to put it there.
Yeah.
Like he's mad at himself, and that's you're giving the hitters up there too much information and your emotions, and that bugs me as a pitcher. You get a called strike, even if you don't, or swinging strike, even if you don't like the location on that one, don't show them that emotion. No, I meant to do that. You know,
Yeah, I
I
meant
don't know.
I meant to put that belt high fastball right over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, you just happen to miss. But I meant to do that. I gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from now on, I think I'm gonna try a little psychology. I'm just gonna every time I see a pick the click thread, I'm just gonna pick the opposing team starter.
Ooh. But
I
who
mean, it's
knows?
it's a win-win. If the jinx works on them, and then White Sox are gonna get some hits and score some runs. If the jinx doesn't work on them, well then I look like a genius. I picked a good pick to click.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw Barrios' numbers today.
He
You know,
hasn't even been pitching good.
he is not.
Last season, this season, he's basically over a season long of bad Jose Barrios after being pretty stinking good for a few years there, and he still made the Sox look stupid.
Yeah. All it takes is facing the White Sox. To
Turn the
reverse
season
his
around.
fortunes.
If no one was an option, Grimtall says, if no one was an option, he would have won tonight.
Yes.
I saw a few of those no ones on those threads today. I saw a couple. Who cares?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Pick the click. Who cares?
Who cares?
And I saw another one that was, I could pick somebody and they might click. Doesn't matter. Sox will still find a way to lose.
Well, I mean, unfortunately,
That might have been my favorite.
that might be accurate. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and flip these bad boys over. Let's get moving here. All right, let's see. We got some Gage Workman, Carson Williams. What we got here? Who's that? Who's the AAA batting leaders? Yeah, we don't need to see that. Noah Miller, Taj Bradley. That's not a bad one. Kobe Mayo, J.C. Correa, and the old ever-present Jordan Groshans. Rutschman denies 2 would-be base stealers. That's good stuff. So for anybody that does not know, you're guaranteed 2 autos in a box. I've seen people pull like 3 or 4 out of one of these boxes. So, who knows? Maybe we get lucky. Last time we pulled, was it Benjamin Bailey, who has since been released by the White Sox. But we did get a White Sox auto, so that was fun.
Ladder Enjoyer broke into a box of these and says he pulled a Ramos auto. That would be fantastic.
Hey, I like that ladder. Let's get that going. That sounds wonderful to me. All right, let's see. Ryan Spikes, Tristan Casas, promoted. Good. Michael Triana, Averson Artiega, Federico Polanco, Henry Mendez. Oh, we got something coming on here, so I'll go ahead and I'll just move that to the bottom of the stack because we don't want to see the good cards right away. We'll go ahead and get through this stuff. Matt McClain, Tyler Soderstrom, Justin Foscue. Which actually, Justin Foscue, he's a Rangers prospect. He played MLB The Show with Ansel Armstrong at one point. A fellow Twitch streamer, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Hey, another Colton Cowser. It's from for good old Colton.
Boyhood photos of the stars.
Yes.
That's
This is Sal Frelick. This is the other auto that we pulled last time was Sal
we did.
Frelick. It's, he's an outfielder, but I think he was a third baseman at one point. Hey, look at that. We got Darren Baker. He's about, he's
a little bit bigger than last I remember.
yeah, he's
Getting
probably
yanked
about
away from home plate.
yeah, he's about 3.5 feet taller, probably. Maximo Acosta. Oh, there we go. Alex Benelas, Carolina Mudcats auto. So there's one. Got one of those things. That's not bad. That's not a bad pull. Emmanuel Rodriguez, Montero homers, Ian Lewis.
You see this? Grimtall says in the chat. You see the Geo MLB the show clip? I'm a 70 now, so it's hard to pitch as myself.
That's fair.
Pretty bad when you're Lucas Giolito and you want to play Dylan Cease's character when you're on the video game.
Yeah, no, I mean who wouldn't? Hey, there we go. It's not an auto, and it's not a it's not a parallel, but it's a Brian Ramos. We didn't get him last time, so that's good stuff. I love that. James Triantos, George Valera, Luis Rodriguez, Curtis Mead, Jeter Downs. Hey, look at that. Another Colton Cowser. It's never stops. Jose Ramos, John Kenzie Noel, Tyler Black, Oswald Peraza, Reed Trimble, Misael Urbina. Miranda leads club to victory. Hey. Nick York. Prospect first baseman. Tristan Casas, Kyle Manzardo, and Dustin Harris. Manzardo is a monster. That guy's, and go figure, he's a Rays prospect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, hooray! Another one. Austin Wells, Pedro Leon, Dari Lorenzo. Let's see, we got who is that? Glenn Allen Hill Jr. I pulled him earlier in my. I bought a jumbo pack of what did we get last time? What is that? Pro debut cards.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I bought a jumbo pack of 21 pro debuts, and that's who I got. Who's this? Baseball. Yeah, that is Andrew Jones. Okay, I was like, man, that looks like Andrew Jones. It is Andrew Jones.
Who's Glenn Allen Hill? What organization is he with?
You know, that's a good question. I didn't even look to see who he was with. He's with Visalia. What's that? Visalia Rawhide or whatever. The Toros are there.
Yeah, 70 is borderline bad in the show for a starting pitcher at the MLB level.
That's terrible.
70's actually, it's not borderline. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, that's like event bad. You know, like where they have events where you can only use pitchers that are like 72 and below. So at least he can use himself in the event.
Yeah, right.
So good for him on that part. Is that he doesn't have to stop using himself when there's an event.
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess if that's what you're going for,
it's not what he's going for. And I mean, you know, like the thing is, like he hasn't been too terrible, but I mean, it's you know, it's one of those things. It all you know. He'll be doing okay, but then he gives
pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing is like he still gives up his home runs, regardless. You know, even though he's pitching better now, he's still giving up those solo shots. So, at least.
Did you happen to catch? Oh God, what is his name now? Oh, the baseball exec. Where he did the whole sticky stuff rosin thing and then washed his hands with rubbing alcohol.
No, I did not.
Oh, so apparently this is what Scherzer got pinched for. Like, you know, he was asked he had something on his hand, maybe too much rosin in it.
Yeah.
Using the bags, and it was the rock. You know, the rock bag. It's got the big chunks of rosin in it. And he was asked, maybe you're using a little bit too much, so go clean your hands. In between innings, from what I'm hearing anyway. I don't know if I got this right, but so I guess he washed his hands with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or used alcohol, and the sticky stuff got stickier. And I
Ooh.
saw somebody literally stick the ball to their fingers and hold it like this with the ball stuck to their fingers, using just rosin and rubbing alcohol.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and baseball's cracking down on that apparently.
Yeah, you can't wash your hands with
Sure.
alcohol when you're using rosin that's completely legal.
Right?
I mean, like, where does it end?
Sure knows what he was doing.
But seriously. I mean, heaven forbid somebody actually have a grip on the baseball.
Yeah, again, I can't disagree with you on that. I mean, these baseballs are ridiculous. Like, we got to give these guys something.
Something, exactly. All right.
It's going to get out of hand real fast if they don't.
Yep.
These ERAs are going to skyrocket across the league.
It's true. Especially with the pitch clock, It's like, what do they expect? But like I said,
I'm all for a little more offense. You're shortening the game and at the same time, fine.
Yep.
But let's not turn this into something that it's not, right? Because then we are talking about reinventing the wheel here.
Yep. But I mean, that seems to be what Rob Manfred's idea is. Is to try and.
He's definitely going to leave his mark.
Yeah, mark. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do that. I think I can do that. There we go. All right, so here we go. Brett Beatty, Cesar Prieto, Brian Rocchio, who just got promoted. Let's see who we got here. Who's this guy? That is Freitas Nova. Jose Torres, Mark Vientos, Sedan Rafaela. Oh, got myself Jackson Churio. I'll take that. I like that. That's good
Cheerios.
stuff. Yep.
I'm getting hungry.
Jackson Churros. Victor Mesa Jr., who just actually hit for the cycle against the Barons last week.
He did indeed.
Denzel Clark. Oh, look at that. Man, I can feel the overhyped sensation from here.
Anthony
Volpe.
Yeah.
I'll put that on the stack of commons because the guy's a bum. Let's see. Gage Workman.
That's a good baseball name.
Oh, hey, look at that. A little old Ace program. Ed Howard.
Yeah,
that's nice. James Wood. Jose Salas.
Oh, piece of candy.
Yeah. Leo Jimenez.
Piece of candy.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite names to say. Yiddy Cappy. Yiddy Cappy. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. I don't think I've ever seen him play. Well, I mean, I've probably seen him play. I just, he's in the FCL. So, well, that was last year. I don't know. Jordan Vyers. Let's see. Oh, we got ourselves an Ian Lewis green parallel. That's nice. That's real nice. Jeremy Vargas, Errol Vera, Eric Pena, Frank Mazzucato. That'd be a good one for Gene Honda if he was ever on the White Sox.
Frank
Mazzucato. Let's see. AAA stolen base leaders. I mean, let's be honest. This is like the like those cards that you used to get in your packs where it said like AL leaders and it would have like 2 players on and it was like worth half a penny.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Alejandro Pie. A little Benny Montgomery. Not the Montgomery I want, but it's Benny Montgomery. Yep. Marcelo Mayer. Hey, look at there. Got ourselves a Wes Kath.
Take that.
Wes Kath, who's been hitting the ball a lot better the last week or so. Started off really rough. I think he started off like 1 for 19 or something like that, and then since then he's been smacking the ball around pretty good. It's been nice. Let's see. Roysmar Quintana, Greg Jones, Dario Lopez, Wormuth. I don't know. Yorbit Vivas. Let's see. Prospect
Vivas.
outfielders. Jason Dominguez, the Martian. Benny Montgomery and George Valera. Dustin Harris. Armando Cruz. AAA home run leaders. Nick Prado and Yohel Pozo. Good name.
Ooh, that is a good Yohel Pozo.
There we go. There's our Kyle Manzardo of the FCL Rays. That kid can smash a baseball.
The Florida Complex League.
Yep. Bryce Turang. Prospect second baseman, Nick Gonzalez, Nick York, and Justin Foscue.
Hey, you remember when people were talking about the Sox possibly drafting Bryce Turang? Remember that?
I do. I also remember talking about Jared Kelenic on that very night, and he's got like an 1100 OPS.
Yeah, absolutely killing it.
Yep. Francisco Alvarez, Brainer Bonacci, Marcelo Mayer. Hey, that's a good one. Brandon Bossier, Trey Sweeney. Oh, got a little Nick Gonzalez. Second base prospect for the Pirates. Prospect shortstops, Noel V. Marte, Marco Luciano, and Anthony Volpe.
Would you slam your thumb in a car door or something there?
No, I dropped a VGA to HDMI adapter box. It's like probably about the box is probably about yay big. It's like I don't know, like 8-inch by like 4 or 5-inch, something like that. And it's like probably about like that thick, like about an inch thick. And I had my hand on the ground like this, and I was doing whatever it was, like I was going through a box. I took the box off the shelf, put it on the ground, like probably about 2 foot down to the ground. Put my hand down, started digging through the box. The adapter happened to be sitting on the shelves, fell perfectly right onto my thumb, pinning it against the ground. And like within, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes or so, it looked like that, more or less.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, real good. Bet that felt good.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yeah. Oh, quit lying. You're doing the emo thing. I know.
Yes. Grimtal says you were supposed to say you punched a toolbox listening to the Sox game while you were wrenching on the project car. I could be like Rick Hahn and say that I punched a cabinet or something, a file cabinet.
Oh, God, I wish I would have went back and did that, pull-in quotes thing that I talked about doing from years past about going into the season. And somebody else found a quote from 2020 that said basically the same thing you said this year about winning our respect back. Back in 2020, we know we need to do some things. We need to earn your trust and respect back.
Yeah, well, guess what?
I'm thinking. I thought it was the beginning of this. I'm watching this clip, and I thought it was the beginning of this season. I'm like, I've seen this.
Hey, you need to try harder.
And then 2021. And I was like, wait a minute. These are all like, I don't remember hearing this the last couple of seasons, but there it is. It's the same rhetoric we've been getting for multiple seasons now.
Call me after the parade. Or ask me after the parade.
Great way to restore Sox fans' trust is cancel Sox Fest. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure 2024 has already been canceled due to multiple reasons.
Due to various reasons.
Yeah. For various reasons, we're not going to be gathering with our fans.
Yes, one of those reasons being we don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah, no crushed tomatoes flying our way.
Yeah, I don't want you guys yelling at me, so that's why we're not doing it. All right, third and final stack. Let's starts off with a PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. Jay Allen, ACL Reds. Max Ferguson.
Let me ask you this: you think PCA is deserving of all the hype? You think he's going to be?
I don't think
You
he's as
think?
bad as your buddy said. I don't think he's that bad. Here's our another auto here. It's Angel Martinez of the Lynchburg Hillcats.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this guy. I think here. Yeah, I don't know anything. I mean, I've probably seen him play, but it's kind of one of those things that when you're paying attention to the White Sox stuff, like the other guys kind of fall by the wayside unless it's like like I remember annoying guys who do annoying things against the White Sox teams.
Yeah.
Gunnar Henderson, look at that. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Interesting.
Decent card.
Diego Cartaya, Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Dale Amador. Oh, here it is. Angel Martinez, base. Larry Ernesto. Alex Ramirez. Not Alexi, but Alex. Alexander Mochica. Khalil Watson. Pedro Pineda. Oh, there we go. A little Corbin Carroll action. I'll take that. This is Reno Aces Corbin Carroll, not the Hops. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course we got it. Of course we did.
Elijah.
Yeah, so
and we can't avoid that one when we do these rip, can we? It's always going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we've literally gotten it in all 3 boxes that we've opened down here so far.
It's going to be there.
Yep. A little Milcar Perez, Denzer Guzman, Noel V. Marte, Austin Martin. Not bad. We got there. Yeah. Who's that? Luis Rodriguez. Oh, I see it now. See his name now. I didn't see it at first. Hey, look at that. Yoelqui Cespedes.
Hey, all right.
His walk rate has dropped.
Card?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he was doing some things.
Yeah, it was at like 30% just a couple days ago, but like in the last 4 or 5 days, it's dropped down to like 22%. Jordan Walker, that's a good one. We keep that. Eduardo Garcia, Lonnie White Jr., Bubba Chandler, Matt Liberator, and Darren McCann. Uribiel Angeles. Let's see. A little Joe Gray Jr. action. Daryl Hernandez, Christian Santana, Dalen Lyle, Matt Liberator, Jesse Schultens, Spencer Twerkelson, Jonathan Classe, Cody Morissette, Carlos Colmenares, Robert Hassel, Henry Davis, Michael Tolia.
Who?
Michael Tolia, Hartford Yard Goats. Yard Goats.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. Let's see. Prospect catchers: Francisco Alvarez, Henry Davis, and Diego Cartaya. Another Benny Montgomery, Keone Cavaco, Marco Luciano, Reginald Preciado, Eddie's Leonard. Prospect outfielders: Zach Veen, Robert Hassel, and Luis Matos. Hedbert Perez and Luis Matos. Still have yet to pull a stinking Colson Montgomery in this set.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even get a base.
2 boxes in. Still haven't even pulled a base of Colson Montgomery yet. I tell you what, I have literally watched like 6 people open a box of this, and every single one of them has at least gotten like every single White Sox player that's in the set.
We get Elijah Tatis every week. Every crack, every rip.
I've gotten Yoelqui and Elijah Tatis in every one of these sets. Well, that's frustrating.
All right.
Let's see.
I mean,
Grimtall
at
says
least we
with
got the
with Yaz probably going to the DL. Who's coming out from Charlotte? Carlos Perez. That's easy.
yeah, hands down.
Yeah, he's
Hands
actually
down.
started to hit in the last week, so that's good.
I was gonna say he's been known to swing it a little bit.
Yeah, and he started off pretty slow, but he's gotten the old average up to like 240, 250. I think
He's not the best defensively, but he's not awful.
yeah, no, he's pretty decent. He had two RBIs today. I think. I still have to finish some of the highlights because I didn't get to all of them. I got the dash done. I got the ballers done, but I have not touched the Barons. Although there's not really a whole lot for the Barons. They lost 6-1, and then the Knights lost 9-5, and I got like Nate Mondu's first Knights home run earlier today, but that's pretty much about it. So,
I wasn't going to ask you this during the regular part of the stream,
yeah,
in the podcast recording, but because I ask almost every week at this point now, but here we are, another weekend, and another poor performance from our pitching staff. Who I feel like there's guys that could step up from the minor league system right now and help the bullpen and the starting rotation. Do you think Lance Lynn would accept a IL stint to get his shit together?
maybe. I mean, you got Davis Martin
And who
could
do
come
you?
up and take the
I was gonna
spot, but
say, do you think it's a possibility that even happens?
well, I mean,
Because Lance, he's not gonna take a send down. He's
no, I
he's
mean,
gonna take
yeah,
that as a.
that's not going to happen. But
You can't send him down to AAA to work on whatever he needs to work on. Let's
yeah,
just say maybe it's time for you to take a little rest.
yeah,
Go get a 10-day IL stint and take a rest and figure it out. We'll bring up Davis Martin. Do you think that's something that could happen? You think there's a possibility
I
of that?
mean,
I mean, he's the worst pitcher in baseball for qualified starters right now.
that's good, right?
For I think whatever the qualifier is, 20 innings or some shit.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
And then this is the question that I ask every week: bullpen help. How do you fix this bullpen right now?
I don't know.
Who do you bring up? Who do you bring up from the minor leagues? If you had to bring somebody up, if you're gonna, let's say, DFA Cheekman or send Bummer down, who do you bring up?
See, that's the one thing that's been
Bullpen arms have been a little. What the fuck was that?
yeah, it's been a little
bomb went off. Sorry, I don't mean to cuss at you guys over here, but it sounded like a bomb went off outside.
Yeah, in Charlotte, the bullpen has been hit or miss. So, I don't know. Like Ramsey's been pretty decent, but
Ramsey.
he's still prone to giving up a run here and there. So he's not going to really I mean, it's not that he couldn't give you innings. He could give you innings. Like there's guys down there that can give you innings. But if you're talking about what you're saying, which is fixing the bullpen, I mean, let's be honest here. There's not really a whole lot that's just gonna just outright fix the bullpen in Chicago.
Do you give Colomé a shot?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no. I mean, you could bring him up, but he's not gonna fix the bullpen. It's not like he's gonna get there and then all of a sudden everybody's gonna remember how to pitch again. Like he'll come in, he'll give you an inning. Maybe he gives up a run, maybe he doesn't. But I mean, he's a professional pitcher.
Well, and what I'm saying, though, I guess, is Bummer obviously is still getting hit hard.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you leave pitches middle.
I get Lane Ramsey, Jesse Schultens, if you wanted to, but he's been kind of dookie too, hasn't he?
Schultens?
Yeah, no, he's been all right.
No, yeah,
Actually,
he's
I'm
been
sorry.
good. Yeah, Schultens has
Who's the
been
one I
good.
was thinking of?
Nate Fisher's been okay. AJ
Oh,
Alexi.
Franklin Herman.
He
AJ Alexi.
had a bad Herman had a bad outing the other day, but he's been good he's been pretty good. Yeah, AJ Alexi's been yeah, like the thing was that, like, when they signed him, he's like, oh yeah, this guy's got great stuff. He's got really nasty breaking balls. Let me look at his stat line from tonight. I know it's gonna be ugly.
Oh boy.
3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, 1 strikeout. This guy's supposed to be like nasty with like really nice breaking pitch, which I will say his breaking ball is pretty decent, but 23 of 55 for strikes.
Yeah,
less than 50%. Like, man, you got to throw strikes, man. And it's like, Lincoln Hensman, 10 for 24.
You let Gil Luna make the jump 2 spots, even though he just started pitching in Double-A?
Nope, not right now. I mean, he had 1 phenomenal outing. He had 1 bad outing, and then he had 1 pretty decent outing that didn't yield any runs for the opposition that I can remember off the top of my head. But no.
Yeah, but he still only got a 1.2 something whip, I think.
Yeah, but I'm certainly not jumping him to Chicago.
No, he's just now pitching in Birmingham.
Yeah, I'm not. No. and I like Gil Luna. Like I think he has a shot to be a good major league pitcher, but not right this second. He was injured all last year.
Right, and that's the thing. They've got him pitching out of the pen because he was injured, but he's going to be slated as a starter at some point.
No, he's a reliever.
He's always. You think he's always?
Yeah, he's 100% a reliever. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, right. College, and now, 100% reliever. And he's very good at it, but short bursts, like 2 innings max. But he's not ready. I don't think he's ready yet. I think he needs you need to see.
I just like what I see. Every highlight that you post of this guy.
Oh yeah,
he just looks nasty.
Yeah, no, he's got really got really good stuff and
good command.
His velo differentials are really good, and
his tunneling is pretty damn good. Like
he's got a really weird arm slot and stuff that's really tough to see. So I like him. I just I would want to see like a couple of months in Birmingham and Charlotte. Charlotte. That's the thing about Charlotte is that can you really?
You can't judge much of a pitcher in Charlotte the way that Park plays.
Exactly. So am I going to judge these guys on the results that they've had in Charlotte? No. If the sole reason is the ball flying all over the place, but it's not really good contact. Like if it's a pop-up and it just happens to go over the wall like I've seen happen to Ramsey a couple of times, that I'm not going to judge a guy on.
Right.
Because that's not going to be a home run in Chicago. Well, actually, I guess he pitches for the White Sox, so it really doesn't matter. It's going to go over the wall, no matter whether it's well hit or not.
Oh, get out of town.
It's just keeping it real.
Yeah. Why is it everybody and their brother all out of the park at U.S. Comiscular Rate Field?
No idea.
But the Sox,
White Sox can't hit home runs. They can't. Yeah, it doesn't matter where they are. They just nobody's hitting them. I don't know what the deal is. But
the crazy thing is you look at their road OPS and their home OPS, and their road OPS actually looks respectable.
Quite a bit better. OPS besides the fact that they've got a
freaking toilet.
Yeah, makes no sense. It's literally a unsolvable mystery why they
Yeah,
can't
and
hit
they're
at
in
that
like
park because everybody
I
else
mean,
can.
depending on who you ask or what what metric whatever site is using to figure these things out. There's a general consensus between the people that do these types of uh what's the word I'm looking for here, evaluations on parks, I guess. And between those two or three out there, it's general consensus that the you know guaranteed rate field is like anywhere between top 5 or 7 in hitter friendly parks.
Yeah,
And
White Sox can't hit there.
the White Sox can't hit there.
Yeah,
Go on the road and they hit okay.
yeah.
Home,
Must be too much
nothing.
partying or something. You know what it is?
I don't know.
It's too many ropes being pulled on. That's what it is. Too many ropes.
Too many ropes. It takes them too long to get into the park. They got to go through the old school metal detectors when they
True,
walk in.
true. And there's so the
The security guys don't even know who the players are.
yeah.
Players entrance over there.
It's
Out
that the
left field.
fans and the media aren't supporting the team. That's what's causing them to play badly. Because
when
they need
I used to work
everybody to
there.
be positive.
I used to watch those guys come in, out there at the players entrance, and it's pretty much out in like left field, left center, somewhere out there.
Out of left field.
And there was it's like a one stall bathroom, players only bathroom that they had set up like a barber shop. And I'd watch these guys walk in with their bag for the day. And even though I wasn't a White Sox employee, I was working for a third party company that had a contract with the White Sox. We weren't allowed to, approach them or talk to them. They recognize you because they see the same face all the time. They give you a nod or something. Hey, what's up, man? I don't know how many times I'd see these guys. They were more concerned getting their hair trimmed up before every game. I mean, every single game, some of these guys would go in, trim and a shave for every single game. That's all. And you'd hear somebody come past and be like, "Oh, you working?" I'm like, "Yeah. Later."
Yeah,
so I'm kind of hoping that's what Lance Lynn is alluding to. Like, no more of that shit. We're on a schedule. We're on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say. It's not good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead and call it for lots of so much offense. It's offensive how much offense there is. Yeah. So next week, hopefully we at least have one win to talk about before the next stream. That would be nice.
I mean, goodness gracious. Boy, I'll tell you, when we signed off last week, there was no thought in my mind that we would come back here and say they haven't won since. None. And here we are.
So Grimtall says, do we have some bets brewing here? How many W's until next stream? Oh. Hold on, let me.
First off, what's the wager?
Yeah, I don't know about that, here? But let me go ahead and look here.
Can we turn this into a fun?
Let's see.
Oh no, I don't know. You know what? I think we're gonna have to make this bet on stream for everyone to see and hear on the podcast and on the stream. So maybe we'll revisit this early in next week's show. We'll come up with some gimmick bet or something, and we'll come up with some decent wagers. Because, I don't know, Ian, would you agree to do that? You're not going to make that kind of bet. You got to wear a Dodgers hat.
Oh, I don't care.
Grimtall wins.
I mean, as long as it's not a Cub hat, I don't care, or a Yankees hat, or a Red Sox.
Yeah, that'll never happen. My hair will catch on fire.
Yeah, I would never wear any of those. Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, I wouldn't wear a Guardians hat or a Twins hat or a Royals hat either.
Yeah, nobody in the Central.
Yeah.
Now we'll have to come up. I'll tell you what. Let's make that a homework assignment with some decent wagers. Maybe we'll make that a gimmick every week since we have nothing better to talk about any freaking way.
Yeah,
come up with a gimmick prop bet to, and we'll have to come up with a decent wager.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so yeah, you guys come up with something come up with something ridiculous, that's fine. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're giving a whole lot else fun to talk about. So
yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, like
keep it
one
fresh somehow.
number of wins between streams. Yeah, yeah. I think we're gonna have to start doing that as like a weekly feature.
I mean, we could probably get 10 minutes of talk time out of that.
An average gate per homepage. Home game, homestand. Gotcha. Yeah, so like if we tie, it would be like attendance that we would have to that we would use as a tiebreaker. Who's closer on that? That seems like
right.
that seems doable. And then yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. That works for me. Give us something to talk about because the team sure ain't giving us nothing to talk about. So
No, they sure aren't.
yeah.
And who knows? Maybe as soon as we try to start doing
Well, you cut out.
that.
What was that?
Did I? Oh, hang on. I accidentally muted myself again.
Oh, weird.
I had the cursor hovering over the mute button, and I did so. I was just gonna say, maybe that's that's the kind of thing we need to help turn this team around. Because as soon as we try to do something to give ourselves something to talk about, they'll give us a reason to cancel.
Yeah, we say that they're gonna win one game, and then they're like, "No way," and then they rip off like 5 in a week.
That's what we
need
want
to do.
You want a new segment to talk crap about us?
Yeah,
Well, screw you. You can't have a new segment on your show because
Yeah.
we're going to give you.
Yeah.
Well, but that's fine. Give me real things to talk about.
Yeah.
That aren't so negative.
So we got a noon game tomorrow, and then 4 against the Rays.
Yay!
Hey, but mercifully, after that,
what are we on?
April's
a 6-game
over.
losing streak.
7. 7 with today.
7-game losing streak.
Yeah.
They'll rip out that one tomorrow and then go on a 4-game losing streak. Oh, what a ball. I'll tell you what, though, if they can pull out a couple against.
Did we win the beginning game or the did we win the beginning game or the last game of that doubleheader against the Phillies? We won the second game.
Second game.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it is a 6-game losing streak.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because they won. They won the last one against the Phillies, so I can't count that. Although that game was a makeup of the day before. So technically on the schedule, it would be on the 17th that was the last win because it would shift back to its day from when it was originally supposed to be played. So
I mean, if we're looking at the schedule, but yeah.
So technically today it's 7 days in a row that they've lost. I mean, technically. But anyway.
I'm talking IRL.
IRL, it has been 6 days since you looked at me. Shake your hand, say I'm crazy or something like that.
It's been.
Yeah, I don't know the words to the song, so I can't really sing it.
Yeah,
Chinese chicken. Yeah, some
drumstick. Have a drumstick.
Yeah,
and your brain stops ticking.
Right. Chickadee China, the Chinese
watching X-Files with no lights on would not.
Yeah,
I hope the smoking man's in this one.
Yeah, you're farther into it than I would ever be. So yeah. Anyway, so next week. We'll start that next week because it's already too late because it's I mean technically it's a stream but it's not the podcast right now, so I don't want to do that now. So we'll start that next week.
Sure.
And that'll be awesome.
Yeah, we'll get that rolling. Again, like I said, I kind of want that to happen on pod anyway.
On pod. Sounds good to me.
And then maybe we'll throw it out to the rest of the chat and see if they can come up with some interesting stuff for us to, tweak and change every week.
Yep.
Week in and week out.
All right, then. All right, well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Thanks for talking, watching, listening. And
Yeah, Grim, as always, thanks for being our 95% of our chat.
yeah. And we will see you guys next
Fucking
week.
lurkers.
Next week we will have many wins to talk about, and it's going to be awesome. Power of positivity. You're not just talking to yourself, you're talking to us. It's fine. Anywho, all right. Well, good night, and we'll see you guys next week for another edition of White Sox Daily Live. My name is Ian. Ian Eskridge. For my co-host,
Are you sure?
Danny Miller. I had to convince myself. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.